Hey, VC here, doing a race breakdown on this Category 2-3 race. I did a vlog on it. You can see that, so the two races. This is my first race of the day. And so 24 miles, about an hour of racing, 26 miles per hour average. And you can see that basically the very first move of the race, I produced my max 5-second power for the race, and my best 1 minute power of the race. The hardest 1 minute for me was basically lap 2. You can see where the break starts, and then some of the times that I attacked to try to establish this break. Now, here's the thing: is my last race, I really did nothing. I sat on wheels and hoped that I could make the one perfect move. Without teammates, it's very difficult to do, and this group had a lot of Mike Spikes guys in it, and so it was tricky. Right before we landed into lap 1, or like this is the end of lap 1, Simon goes. I was gonna go. I was ready to go. It was so crazy. I was clicking down in gears. This is the time to go, and he went. So I was like, sweet, great, go ahead, do the move. But he went too hard for me. I mean, he gapped me. I just wasn't, I guess, prepared to go that hard that soon. But man, Simon put in such a snap. So I kind of, didn't get a great advantage with him going because I couldn't really get on his wheel quick enough. But here's the thing is, yes, I want to empty the tank for this race. I want to completely just leave it all out on the race course. But I can't completely go 100% in the very first move. Because getting countered is a thing that's my biggest worry, is getting countered. Going really, really hard to try to go all in on a move, and then when the counter comes, that I don't have enough to go with it, right? Because there's most likely going to be a break. There's not most likely. My idea is that no matter what, there will be a break, and I will be in it. So then we get caught, and the Mike Spikes guys, they're just patrolling the front so well, and they actually leaked a guy off the front. So right now, one of their Mike Spikes, the guys in the blue with the red sleeves, they have a guy that just went up the road. You can see him up there. And so I got to do something. Let's empty the tank. Let's make attacks. Let's force something. I want a move to work. So everyone kind of is looking around here. So I swing out. I don't snap super hard right at the beginning. I kind of just sort of try to roll off and get into sort of a little TT mode, hoping that maybe it's early, no one's gonna really chase me, maybe I can get up with this guy, but everyone's right on my wheel, and so I'm kind of just dragging them up, to this guy that's off the front, which is not great because I'm gonna get countered, right? Like Mike Spikes are gonna send more and more guys off the front, and so you can see here they're all in the front, and what's crazy is as this goes, this guy looks and sees, hey, I've got one guy up the road and two guys in this move right now. So he can fall back. He does not have to burn any matches to go with this move. Same thing with this guy. He sees that I've got one guy up the road and now another guy on the front. So they're just able to conserve way more energy. And that's the big benefit of having teammates, is they have a guy all the way up the road. He's up the road by himself. And so they don't have an obligation to pull, so they have to, they put that pressure on the other guys. So it's pretty strung out. I think there's a Turin Squadra guy up on the front. There was the Muscle Milk and Turin and a couple other guys that were doing some work. A lot of guys were just sitting in. And so then there's one guy up the road. Guys start to look at each other, and I can't have that be, man. I've got to be in the move. I want to be up the road when the move works, or when the move goes. I want to be the move. So then I take off again, throw another attack, and this one I really kind of went a little deeper than I have in the past. Because there was two guys. I didn't even realize there was two Mike Spikes guys up the road. So there you go. Like, dude, those Mike Spikes guys played this race so well. They just kept leaking guys off the front and then controlling. So they'd always have someone up the road, and then they'd be controlling the peloton. So then as soon as I catch on to them, I'm pretty burnt, and then he starts to go because we sort of have a little bit of a gap. and everyone's been riding pretty hard from the very beginning. So I think this is a pretty good time if I'm gonna expend any energy. Maybe right now I can get some leeway. I can get someone to go with me. So I put in a good little dig. After putting in a pretty good dig to bring those guys back, I then attack the group that I had caught. So I made a move to bring back the 2. I made a move off the front. Mike Spikes then sends this guy up the road. They've got a guy controlling the front, like textbook, right? Perfect. And I'm pretty waxed, right? So they were just doing so well controlling the front and always having a guy off the front. And that's the big advantage of having teammates, is that everyone can kind of share the workforce and you can always make guys work. And so there's most likely going to be a breakaway because of how Mike Spikes has been playing this race. I'm really hoping that other guys that don't have teammates, are going to race this race. And I know that you can say like maybe this is a dumb way to race the race or whatever, but I don't have the power curve to wait for it to come down to a sprint. I don't also have the power curve to go solo for 40 minutes. So I gotta just do what I can do, like what my power allows me to do. There's a guy up the road. They're looking around. I can't let this be a thing where we just let a guy ride away. It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna be there in the finish. I might be wrecked at the finish, but I'm going to be at the finish. I'm going to give myself an opportunity to win this race. And so I put in another dig. I think this is, again, maybe my fifth attack. And I'm not completely destroying myself because I don't want to get countered. But that's exactly what ends up happening. So right here, the Squadra guy goes and a Mike Spikes guy goes, and that is alarm bells because there's a Mike Spikes up the road. Now Mike Spikes is following that move. Muscle Melt goes. This move right here is, that's such a good move. And I'm just thinking, great. I can't bring this back right now. And if they work together, that's 100% the move. And so I think that I'm grateful for a few other guys in the group noticing that. This guy, he's like, hey, that is a threatening move. So then he starts to go up the road. And the bigger the break gets, the more sometimes it actually doesn't work well together. So I think that those guys weren't working that well. But these two dudes, they actually put in a move to bring this back. And there's a lot of wind on the course. It was very windy. And so this point right here, if you come into this, like we're going 34, 35, you can see the wind just completely crushing our speed. But I guess that move that happened, maybe they just weren't working that well because I'm surprised we caught them so quickly. That was definitely a move to be worried about. So I'm really grateful that these guys, I didn't have to close that down myself. Fast forward a little bit in the race, I'm sort of recovered. Coming into the mega headwind section, this had a lot of headwind. Everyone plumes up. Everyone's slowing down, and there's still a guy off the front. There's one Mike Spikes guy off the front. So then I launch an attack here, and this is the attack that makes the break. And I get a Mike Spikes guy to get on my wheel. But at this point, it's almost halfway through the race, and there's almost been like non-stop attacking, and I've now made it to where I'm chasing a Mike Spikes guy up the front. There's a Mike Spikes guy on my wheel, and I'm in a really bad situation because if the guy on my wheel doesn't do any work and just sits on my wheel, I could drag him up to his teammate. He could counter me, attack me, jump onto his teammate, and then I'd just be like smoked in no man's land. So I'm trying to Jedi mind trick him to work with me, and I'm telling him like, dude, you can take the preem, it's, hey, I'll get you up to your teammate, it'll be you two versus me, you guys will win. And he's just like, no, I'm not working, I'm not doing anything, dude. And then eventually he did. He actually came through and he took a small pull, which, dude, in this type of situation where you've attacked, now you're off the front, you're trying to hold threshold, any little bit of help just helps so much. So I fully emptied the tank in chasing this guy down because we had such a big gap. And so I think I was out for like 3 laps. Then there was a chase that broke off from the group and then caught us, which made the winning break. So the winning break got away from the peloton and caught us. So this is it. This is the move. We've got a decent sized gap, but it's not guaranteed that it's going to work. But for the most part, it looks like the peloton has kind of shut it down, or that there's no one left in the peloton that's willing to work. And so, this is it. But I'm pretty wrecked, to be honest. I've burned a lot of matches, and we just kind of rolled like at a pretty fast pace. And, it's like, okay, so what do I do now, right? I'm trying to recover, for one. I'm trying to recover, but it's very difficult to recover while at this pace and this speed. And the Mike Spikes guys, dude, having 3 dudes in the break, like, that's phenomenal. Like, they just did such an amazing race. I think they had like 8 guys though, right? But sometimes you have a bunch of guys and it doesn't work out well for you, but they did phenomenal. The Muscle Milk guy, he was kind of waving on like, come on, we got to keep going. Like, let's not get caught. Let's not make this fail. Because the Mike Spikes guys have all of the cards. They have all the options. If they want to make this break work, they could definitely dig in and make it work. But if it doesn't work, they have a ton of other teammates that are going to counter. They probably have a designated sprinter. So if it doesn't work, they're still in kind of a good spot. So I am trying to make sure that I did a couple pulls, but we're coming into the end here and they swing to the right, and I try to just, don't mind me, I'm just going to sneak up the left here. And it's the only move that I made while in the break, because I didn't want to, if I attacked, we were going to sort of end the harmony that everyone had together. And then I was going to start getting Mike Spikes guys to start counterattacking, and I didn't have the legs to follow counterattacks. Literally, what I was worried about then ended up happening, because I made that little move. I sort of kind of ruined everyone's friendship by trying to get away, and then Mike Spikes and the Muscle Milk go, and like, dude, that's such a dangerous move right there, because I think we only have 3 laps left in the race, and I'm just so mad right now that I just did this, hoping that someone's going to come through, and they do. I mean, it was everyone did play, but boy, this was hard. This effort probably for me, it felt the worst. And whatever, like, let's just empty the tank, let's get it done, let's stay on. But you can see there's 2 guys up the road, then 2 more sort of leak off, and it was a little chaotic at this moment on what was going to happen. So we're coming into the last lap. The bell lap is now. This guy Michael, I believe, just rips it open for his teammates, right? Absolutely uncorks it. I probably shouldn't have gone with him, now that I'm thinking about it. I should have just let him roll off and let the other guys in the peloton chase that. But then, dude, that's the thing, is like, okay, so I don't go with him. I don't race my bike. I hope other guys race their bikes. They don't race their bike, and this guy solos for the win. And I think, man, I should have gone with him. Maybe me and him could have soloed. So all these different variables, right? But I am now too far forward on the last lap. I'm too much in the wind. But I will say that I'll complain a lot about not having teammates. But if I had a teammate and he did what this guy did right now, I'd be super pumped. So, I mean, I could just be using him as an awesome teammate. But I don't have a sprint, right? I'm not a very good sprinter. I've burned a lot of matches in this race. And his like final little kick, dude, just ruined me. And so I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go at the last turn, because we are right there. The finish is right there. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go right at the last turn. And Simon is like reading my mind. He's like, nope, I'm going to go first. And everyone came from behind. They're going like 2, 3, 4 miles an hour faster, dipped the inside. It's like, but dude, look at my power. Like, I just have no power here for the finish, which is a bummer. But it doesn't matter. I am super pumped with this because I raced my bike. I attacked a bunch. I forced the move. I was the breakaway, right? Like, in my mind, I'm just thinking it doesn't matter what's If there's something up the road and I'm not in it, that's not the breakaway. Because I'm going to break away. I'm emptying the tank. This is it. We're going to make the finish with a break. So, there you go. Fun race. I really tried. And next time we'll get them. As always, Vegan Cyclist. You.